Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Litecoin. We're at $78.39 right now. We're up 0.63%. And what we're going to be looking at here is Litecoin on the 1 week chart. We're really going to step back and we're going to assess a lot of data that's taking place. Sometimes we can be in too close, on the 4 hour or even the 1 day, and you don't get that bigger picture. And that's what we're going to do today, is step back and really take a look at the bigger picture here. And guys, I also want to bring you just a little bit of commentary out of my book from Candlestick Charting Explained by Gregory L. Morris. We're going to be looking at the bearish Harami, because basically that's what we're forming right here on the 1 week chart. And I'm going to give you some information about it and we can kind of assess it together. All right, so what we're having here, we've been moving up, guys. We've been in intermediate term now. So it's been about 3 months or longer in an intermediate term uptrend. We've been doing really nice here. We've been making strong moves, but what we're starting to see right now is we had a bearish death cross of this 50 moving average cross down over top of this 100 moving average, and this 100 moving average is also acting as resistance. You see how we tried to push up? So this candle, we pushed up through, there's profit taking on the wick. We got pushed back down over here. We tried to open up, we pushed a little bit higher, and then we started to fall. Now we're forming that Harami candle. We're going to have to see where it closes today. Today is the close, I do believe. So we'll have to see how it closes. But right now I'm going to give you basically the definition of this Harami pattern, and you also tell me what you think, if this is something that's forming. All right, guys, so what it says here for this Harami pattern: the Harami pattern is made up of the opposite arrangement of days of the engulfing pattern. Harami is a Japanese word for pregnant or body within. You will find that in most instances the real bodies in the Harami are opposite in color, also like the bearish or bullish engulfing pattern. So that's what we're having, two opposite weak colors here, right? Remember, guys, this is the woman here, so think of that as the mom, and then this is the child inside, and that's what they're talking about, pregnant woman, the name Harami, because it looks like a woman who's pregnant or with a baby inside. All right, so far we're identifying, we're 1 for 1. You will probably note that the Harami is quite similar to the traditional inside day. The difference, of course, is that the traditional inside day uses the highs and lows, whereas the Harami is concerned only with the body, open and close. This requirement to use the open and close prices instead of the high and low prices is common in Japanese candlestick analysis and philosophy. The Harami requires that the body of the second day be completely engulfed by the body of the first day. So that's what we're having here in terms of the bodies, guys. You see how they're equal up here, and then here would be the close down there, where we're at right now, and this body here would basically completely engulf this one right there. All right, so rules of recognition: a long day is preceded by a reasonable trend. So that's what we had here, very long day candle. Number 2, the color of the long first day is not as important, but it is best if it reflects the trend of the market. So the trend, right, short-term uptrend, that's perfect. Drilled it again, we're 2 for 2 there. Number 3, a short day follows the long day with its body completely inside the body range of the long day, just like the engulfing day. The tops or bottoms of the bodies can be equal, but both tops and bottoms cannot be equal. So guys, we're still there. And then number 4, the short day should be opposite color of the long day, and that's what we're having here, is the opposite. Now what it says for bearish Harami: an uptrend is in place and is perpetuated with a long white day on high volume. You see this? Guys, long white day on big volume. The next day, prices open lower and stay in a small range throughout the day, closing even lower, but still within the previous day's body. In view of this sudden deterioration of trend, traders should become concerned about the strength of this market, especially if volume is light. It certainly appears that the trend is about to change. Confirmation on the third day would be a lower close, is what you're looking for, guys. And this also talks about in this book, you can use this on the week chart, the 1 month chart, the day chart they were talking about on the day chart. So what we would look for next week, so if we close where we're at now, we would look to see if the next week we have a close lower than that, then that can really tell you that we may come down here and maybe test this trend line area. But right now with this Harami, you always want to wait for confirmation, is what it says. Just wait for confirmation, be patient, see what happens. It's what you want to look for. But we're looking at a bearish Harami here. Okay, we're looking at a death cross right here. And then I wanted to also show you this stochastic RSI. Take a look at the stock here, how overextended we are. Let's see, there it is. Okay guys, so right up here you can see this starting to roll over there. We crossed down through the signal line. We're starting to fall. We're at 90 and 96, so that is very overextended on the 1 week. And that's why I just wanted to step back. I know we can get in so close, say, oh, this pattern's happening or this pattern's happening. Guys, we're in a nice intermediate term uptrend here. We've seen this supply and demand shift. This is beautiful, but we still probably need more of a correction to come down here and maybe back test this 50 moving average at around $64.53. So my downside targets are that $64, $65 I'd look at to downside to see if we hold that. Then I'd look at the 20 EMA at $55 and then ultimately this trend line. So those are my downside targets where I would look for a potential area to go long on for Litecoin. Now, potential up targets, I would look to get back up above this candle right here around that $88, $89 right there, and then try to make it up past that $100 psychological level, you know, that big round number. But it's going to be hard to do that when your stock is so overextended like that. Typically when we get up that high, guys, we don't even last this long up there. Do you see how we've had quite a while now? We've been overextended. Over here we'd hit it and then we'd just fall. So things are changing now. We've just had more strength with the type of volume that has come in. So, you know, guys, we're Death Cross, Harami, and now the stock. Those are three bearish things that are taking place right now in the 1 week. Another one we want to look at here is the Bollinger Bands to see if we're overextended at all. Guys, we're up over top. We are extended out of the Bollinger Bands as well. So that's another sign that profit taking's happening. You can see right there we're kind of closing on top of the bands. But when you get outside of them, professional traders will be taking profits outside of those bands. So that's another thing that we want to pay attention to. Bollinger Bands were overextended now. Okay, next one. Let's go to the RSI. And I just want to go through these oscillators with you so we can put forth a plan and say, hey, you know, the RSI is bullish or the RSI is bearish, and you can have these things at your disposal and say, all right, this is what's going on. Now, with the RSI, this is looking a little bit more bullish to neutral. We're in that 61 area, so that is nice and strong there. Remember, 70 starts that overbought territory, and we've just been having higher highs and higher lows on that, so we're going to have to see if this is just one of those higher lows and then we move farther, or if this is going to start to be that dropping down even farther. But I would put the RSI more in that neutral to bullish camp right there. All right, and this is what you do. Just go through all the indicators, guys, and the next one I'll do is the MACD, and these are the ones that I like to use. I feel comfortable with them. I think a lot of other traders use them, and you want to use basically oscillators that a lot of other traders are using as well. So you're all kind of looking at the same thing. All right, so histogram's been moving up, but we're starting to get a little more neutral there. We've had a bullish cross on this MACD. We've been moving up. We really haven't got too much of a tick down yet, just kind of still moving up steady. So I would definitely put the MACD in more of that bullish but becoming more neutral state. You can see how the histogram were ticking up, and now we're starting to get that white there, and we're starting to move sideways. So that's one we're going to have to pay closer attention to. All right, now, as what I also want to show you too, with something with the Fibonacci here. So we're going to go from our high roughly right in there, just taking a rough estimate here, guys. Okay, so on our reaction, we had this big fall here, and this was all the way from around $185 all the way down to $22, guys. Isn't that crazy? And then we bounced all the way up, and we got through this 0.382, but now we're looking at potentially closing below it. So that could be an area that we have to fight and try to get back up above if we do close down here in the weeks to follow. So that's why I said maybe an easier path would be trying to find a nice bounce off this 50 moving average. And remember, with trading, guys, everything is if not this, then that. If this, then that. And that's what it is. It's formulating a plan to the upside and the downside, because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think anyone else has a crystal ball. I can't tell you when the guy in Japan while I'm sleeping wants to put in $10 million. I can't do that. This market's 24/7. This is the wild, wild west, but that's what makes it so fun, that these massive moves can come in. And, you know, guys, sometimes you can read stuff out of the textbook. Everything will be textbook, and the crypto market will do the exact opposite. So that's why I said always be prepared for that upside as well, around that $93 and around that $100. See if we can get back above it, because anything can happen. I'm just giving you my targets here and what I'm looking at. Okay, so we did break back down below this 0.382 is something that you want to pay attention to. And that was from the swing high to the swing low. This was our reaction that we've had so far. So keep that very close in your mind, guys. A lot of the times, you know, once you do break down from this Fibonacci to 382, you can fall down to this 0.236 to try to find support, and that also is matching up with that 50 moving average as well as that 20 moving average. So that maybe could be a hot spot right there, and I know a lot of people probably would want to go long at around that $59, $55, $60 range, right in that area. I know some people are paying attention to it, you know, me included. I am paying very close attention to it. And then one more thing while we're here, I wanted to step back, guys, and really just assess what we've went through and some of the things that I'm seeing. Okay, so this is just the big picture. This is Litecoin on Coinbase. I mean, take a look at this, guys. Once we got up above that 20 EMA here, remember how supportive that is. Once we broke through it, we were holding this as support. We were wicking down through it all the time, holding it as support. And once we broke down through it, then it was acting as severe overhead resistance. But now, guys, we are back up above it. And that's why I said that wouldn't be a bad spot to go long if it does get back down there around that 55.39. That'd be a beautiful spot if it retraced down to that area. Not saying it is, but that's something I'm looking at. So we're paying attention to that. Also, we are holding this 50 moving average as overhead, or I'm sorry, as support underneath. And now we're finally back up above that. And we want to back test that and see if essentially we'll hold that as support is what I'm looking for as well. And then the 100 there, we're just being trapped by that. Okay, but this is that death cross right here. Whenever you see that short term moving over that longer term. Okay, but you know, guys, this has been a heck of a move here. I mean, look at this move here. You see all these wicks. So that was all the profit taking. All the professionals were taking profits. Litecoin ended up here getting up to $421. How amazing is that? Then in the same day, it came all the way back down to 324. So that was a big sign there that, you know, people were taking profits. This was just a generic spike up, and then, you know, we started having those falls and those reactions. We were making lower highs and lower lows, but now we're starting to have that supply and demand shift, which is really good. So, you know, guys, it starts with the short-term uptrend, then it's intermediate term, which we're in now, and then we want to turn into that longer-term uptrend. All right, but with how hard and how fast we fell, that's why we're kind of making it up on the backside hard and fast, because here we were just dropping week after week. You know, and a lot of times you'll see that made up on the backside. But pay very close attention to this 20 EMA here. In the last bull market, we treated it as very strong support. And that's what we need to do again, is treat it as very strong support. And here it is down here. So I'm sure at some point we will have to back test that, guys. But these are my thoughts. You know, Litecoin can obviously do what Litecoin wants to do, but those were my downside targets. These are my upside targets, some of the oscillators that I'm looking at, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. God bless each and every one of you. This is a Litecoin update on the weekly. We're at $78.36 right now. Take care, my friends.